coming into your breath if you have not already. Happy post-summer solstice. We are officially here in summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and it is hot, hot, hot where I am. I'm hoping that the summer solstice brought a lot of levity, a lot of joy, a lot of spaciousness before the busyness of our life takes off, because this is the season. This is the season where typically, the earth is fruitful. There's abundance in color, there's abundance in nature, there's abundance in species, there's abundance kind of just all around us, in flowers and colors, in the options of the day-to-day happenings of our lives. So there's a lot of energy here. It's a very externalized energy as well. It's the earth coaxing life out of the dark soil, or the caves or the mountains, these places that we go to kind of hibernate or find our own sense of solitude, our own sense of hearth and home. And this is really a season for externality, coming out, being seen, being heard, and just sharing whatever it is that, whether it's internal gifts, whether it's an abundance of food in your garden, whatever's like up in your life, like sharing it freely to the community, giving it to those you love, serving others. So there's just like a lot of energy with the summer solstice. And we are also in Cancer season, which is just one of my favorite seasons because I'm biased, because I am a Cancer baby. But I wanted to kind of do an intuitive feel into, what I'm really feeling into with this next moon and this Cancer season that's here, and offer it to you. It may or may not resonate. There are thousands and thousands, if not millions, of people who can tell you about Cancer season. But what's most important is that you ask yourself and you see if any of this lines up for you, or maybe it's just a jumping off ground where you hear something in here that you're interested about and you go and do further research or further sitting with or meditation around, really anything that is calling you to receive the answers that you need. But here I am, just gonna offer it to you because I felt compelled. And yes, this is my beautiful fairy floral crown that I made the other day, and it really brought a lot of joy for me. And that is the entryway into Cancer season for me. So this moon, we are currently in the full moon, or shortly after the full moon, shortly after the summer solstice. And what this really means is now the moon, which started in Gemini, there was a new moon in Gemini, is now waning towards another new moon, which will be in Cancer, because now we're in Cancer season. So Cancer came about shortly before the full moon was here. It's a little confusing, but if you want to go into all the details, there's hundreds and hundreds of resources out there. But what I was saying is now we are in Cancer season. We are waning into the next new moon, which will be a Cancer new moon, which will bring all the Cancerian energy up and to full force. That being said, because Cancer season is here, I wanted to share what was really coming up for me. Normally, Cancer is a very earthy, watery, homebody, just really lush and nurturing. And this is still the case this year, but with Cancerian energy this year, I'm not sure if it's a placement in the astrology. I'm not like totally an expert on that stuff. This is just my intuitive feel on what's here. So there might be like cool planets like helping this energy, like I don't know. But I'm also feeling into this sense of spontaneity, this sense of playfulness kind of like bubbling forward. So over the last 2 weeks, you may or may not have experienced a lot of busyness that led to a lot of collapse or grief or just lots of feelings, whatever those feelings can be like for you in your body, anger, frustration, all these things. I know for me, it was a very tender first half of this moon. I had set my intention to actually come into a little bit more play and spontaneity, and with that, I found so many initiations. Like, boy, oh boy, was I a very serious person who did not know how to have fun, who did not know how to lighten up, who did not know how to, just enjoy life for what it is rather than be so serious about the future and what's coming next and what's the plan and where am I going. There was a lot of energy there that I had to set down in order to allow the space for play and imagination and spontaneity and the beautiful magic of summer solstice to kind of wash over me. And in Cancer season, since it is a water sign, when I say wash over me, I really mean like it did. Once Gemini was out and Cancer came in towards closer to the summer solstice and the full moon just a couple days ago, I felt the waves of emotion. It was all of a sudden there was my grief. All of a sudden there was my tenderness. All of a sudden my body was like, can you just pause for a second and feel all these feelings and just be okay that they're here, and like you don't have to do anything about them. Just let them be here. Just feel them with your precious body, and now that doesn't really bother me. But when I first started all of my healing journey and my somatic movement and my somatic practice and all this stuff, feeling feelings was not always fun. I wasn't always just like, oh, there's my grief, I'm gonna give it some space and time and like sit with it. It was just like really off-putting. Like I didn't want to sit with it. I didn't want to sit with my anger. I didn't want to sit with what I was feeling in my body. I didn't want to be tired. But the more that I just allowed these fluctuations of energy and vitality and emotion come over me, the more I was understanding what was actually happening. And what was actually happening was my nervous system was coming back down into baseline safety rather than being totally overstimulated or even understimulated because I had gone too far in advance, too far, or pushed too much at one point in the cycle. And so then I would have a collapse. Now it's not so up and down for me because I'm pretty intentional about working with the seasons and working with the moon and saying hello to my precious body every morning, or drumming, just anything to kind of bring my whole space here and now. So I am feeling the height of summer with this moon, but I'm also feeling there's still that like call to nurture, call to come home, whatever that looks like for you. That could be a turning inward and really getting deliberate on where you place your energy in the next coming months or this season even, because burnout is real. If you're just giving your energy to everything in the world that is calling your attention, and believe me, the world is calling your attention, you're going to end up in the fall equinox or possibly even in the winter solstice totally depleted, totally burnt out, wondering what the hell happened and why you weren't able to do the things that you wanted to do. So that's one thing that I'm like feeling into. There's this call to discernment. There's this call to come home, do the things that bring you joy, fill your cup up so much that it overfloweth, so that you can give to all the spaces around you. So you can walk into every space with your heart open. So you can walk into every room with your joy intact. So you can walk into every forest or every experience just with open eyes, a soft heart, and gratitude. It is a season of deep abundance, and it is all about celebration and joy and love. But, you know, there comes sadness and grief and need for rest and tender moments as well in that. So I'm really feeling the Cancerian energy here to support that process of like giving and pushing our energy out, but also taking the time to come home, whether that's in a daily routine, a weekly routine. You know, it's just come home, connect, make sure that you are taking care of your cup. You're filling your cup up with water, because it is a water sign, and you're nourishing your body, you're nourishing your soul before you go out into the world and nourish the souls all around you, or the plant life all around you. So that's an aspect I'm feeling into. I'm also feeling into this rather trickster energy, this very playful spirit. If your eyes are already washed anew and you've been working with the seasons and the cycles for a while, maybe you too can see it and feel it. But I just feel like the fae are out, or the elementals are a little bit more alive, and you know, with it is their games, their play. They're coaxing us out of our seriousness so that we can come into more fluidity, which is another Cancerian energy, moving with the tides, you know, flowing over rocks, flowing over change, flowing through transitions, rather than like air or fire, which would just kind of like rise above or burn away. Water is all about being in it and moving with it and not resisting it. So there's that, but it's like with play, like bring your play. Don't take it so seriously, even the depths of our problems in life. Like, we do live in a world that is, you know, high in trauma right now. We live in a world that is high in conflict, high in just wanting conflict is the word that keeps coming. There's just so much conflict in this world, and it can be really easy to be rigid and to stiffen and to harden and to become earth. But in this season, we're really here to move with the earth and flow, learn the fluidity, the motion of like giving and receiving, taking time inward, taking time outward, and like balancing that and becoming not just the two extremes of giving and receiving, but actually the moment in between that where they blend and they are one. So there's just this fluid transaction of flow through the system, whether it's giving or receiving. They're both happening at the same time, and the channels are open. Water flows this way, water flows that way, water flows everywhere. It becomes the shape that you put the water in. So playing around with that, I just really feel like there's that deep Cancerian like mother nurture energy, which is usually like a slower thing and like coming inward, at least for me. But this season, this year, I'm really feeling that nurture energy, like being the foundation. But really what Cancer really wants to bring through, I feel, is this play, is this joy, is this taking care of our inner child and making sure that, you know, we are carving out time to enjoy life, to be in this body, to engage with the plant life, to engage with those in our lives, to show up fully in the present moment and have conversations with people, even if they disagree with us, even if we have differences of opinions, and be able to sit in that tension point with curiosity, with joy, with love, with expansion, and with play. So that is what Cancer feels like to me this season. And because the Cancer new moon signifies the first new lunar cycle in this summer season, it's a really good time to take some time to come inward, nurture yourself, get your home in order, get your spaces in order, set yourself up, and take a moment to consider, like, what does summer hold for you? In what areas are we being too serious? In what areas do we need a little bit more spontaneity and joy? And how can we be open to that magic finding us rather than forcing it or making a plan and like strategizing? It's really just about feeling into the body, feeling into the emotions, sensing into where you might need a little levity in your life, a little spontaneity, a little play, a little fun, even in the depths of a very chaotic time here on Earth, here on the planet. You know, a lot is happening with not just the human population, but species and the Earth, and just all the things are up right now. I feel like Earth and its people and its species are at a very critical point. So it's a lot, but it's not, in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, take it or leave it, it's not something to take so seriously that we lose our life force energy, because we are here to feel, and we are here to connect, and we are here to have an abundance of life force energy, and we can rise to meet the challenges that are here in our own lives, in the lives that, or in the things that are alive in the lives of those we love, and even the things that are alive in the greater human population and Earth as a whole. The Earth also is a living being, and she is very, very strong. She knows what she's doing. She is hurting, I believe, but I do feel like there's an opportunity for us to all come into congruence, to come into cohabitation. I do feel like we as humans can often take advantage of our beautiful Earth and take from her a little bit too much, but I do feel like thousands and millions of years in the future, she will be okay. Not that we should continue at the rate that we're continuing. I'm just hopeful about our Earth. I am just hopeful about living here, and I just feel that play, that levity, that inspiration needs to come back into our lives so that we can turn towards the things that are intense, and we can open ourselves up to it instead of shut ourselves down, turn away from it, ignore it, go into depression or go into anger and outrage, and just really like look at it and accept it and hold it for a second, just like a mother would hold a child or something like that, and just acknowledge its presence and its circumstance, and then from that place, with a full heart, with open eyes, with open ears, taking action, wherever that looks like. So those are my insights on this Cancerian energy that is here. The Cancer new moon is on July 6th, I believe, so that's coming up. And then I believe we have a full moon in Capricorn, which is the second full moon in Capricorn, because I think we just had one. I could be wrong on that, but I don't know. Anyways, I am sending you an abundance of love and joy. I hope that you take some time to ground, to fill up your spaces with love, and, you know, to turn your heart back on and see what's there. See if you need some joy or music or dancing or frolicking in the forests until you're dizzy and you see fairies finally. Like, whatever it is you need, I hope that you take some time to go and get it. I wish this summer to be one of the most beautiful, warm, gracious, and abundant summers of your life. And may Cancer and her beautiful energy water all your seeds, and may they come to fruition. Thank you. I'll see you soon. And of course, if you are looking for a guide or a mentor in moon work or somatics or playfulness or sensuality or shadow work, and you feel compelled to reach out to me, just reach out. I'm here, and the links are down below. So I'm wishing you the most beautiful day.